All right, let's talk about Dallas Turner and what he'll bring to the Minnesota Vikings. So, I already have a film study that I posted right when he got drafted, but that was more about the player himself, why I think he is worth the 17th overall pick, that kind of thing. But the more and more I think about him and how he's going to fit in with Minnesota, the more and more I'm excited just thinking about it and what he can bring to them because, for the Vikings, they love the blitz. They love to send pressure, and I think what they want out of an edge rusher really fits Turner's skill set. Like, for example, something like this going up against LSU, which this is not going to be the most exotic blitz you've ever seen or anything like that, but it is a blitz. It's going to be actually kind of three defensive linemen are rushing the passer. Two other players will come in and rush the passer. It's kind of a unique thing. Actually, one of them is an edge rusher who kind of drops back and then rushes the passer. Anyway, let's just focus on Dallas Turner. You see where he is on the field going up one-on-one against the left tackle. When this play begins, you see that right here, again, kind of goes straight towards the outside. You see how he uses contact to get more towards the outside. I think that what Turner loves, and this is something I almost brought up as a critique of his, and in some ways it is, but in some ways it's a positive as well, which is he loves to go for these outside moves. And obviously, there is a danger in something like this. So if you're going more towards the outside, could you potentially allow for a running back to step up in the pocket, maybe try and scramble outside the pocket? But when there's a heavy blitz, that's just not an option. Here, you see the quarterback doesn't really have anywhere to go. Turner is able to get over and make the sack. And while I'm not saying Turner needs a blitz to get sacks or anything like that, I just think that they really help him. And for him to be able to win on the outside like this, consistently with pressure coming up the middle, there's just not a lot a quarterback can do in that situation. I don't care if you're Patrick Mahomes. You can't scramble if you don't have anywhere to go. And I think that this could be a really good fit. But also, even in ways like this, I think it could be a real benefit where, you see where he is on the field, one-on-one against the left tackle here for New Mexico State. And watch how when this play begins, tackle does a pretty good job. Turner goes for more of a speed rush type move, but the tackle hangs with him, is able to push him behind the quarterback. And now the quarterback, due to pressure that came elsewhere, that pressure actually came on unblocked blitzer. So, that's kind of what can happen. Now, the quarterback is trying to scramble and make something else happen. And, sacks are weird. Like, just the stat, sack is weird. Because, I think we all have kind of gotten to the point where we realize that there is a lot of flukiness that comes into a sack, where sometimes it's a play like this where an unblocked player is rushing the quarterback out. Not every sack is just beating the tackle cleanly and then getting to the quarterback in under 2.5 seconds, right? In fact, many aren't. But at the same time, getting a sack is valuable. That's still the goal of an edge rusher. Watch Turner be able to get back, and he's going to help make this tackle right here. Again, just because he got knocked out of the way when the play began, he was still able to find a way to make himself useful. He has he does a great job with the, when a second life of a play happens for a pass rusher, right? When, the quarterback scrambles out and tries to make something else happen. For Turner, he does a very good job in those moments, which in today's NFL, with how many, quarterbacks we see doing that, and especially in his division now at this point. Jared Goff not so much, but Jordan Love does it, and Caleb Williams definitely does it. So being able to kind of run guys down, yeah, that's very valuable. But also something like this, where he's going to be going up one-on-one against the Auburn left tackle right here. When this play begins, it's going to be more of I'm going to kind of try and overpower him a little bit. I talk about the speed rush and how he likes to use that, and he does, but that's certainly not all he likes to do. He will use his power, and for, again, a team like Minnesota that loves to mix things up and do different things, being able to have power can definitely be a positive impact. Like right here, watch how he kind of drives that, quarterback back. He actually helps make that tackle. But even if he hadn't, he would have at the very least kind of given a pathway for the taken away a pathway for the quarterback. The quarterback wouldn't have been able to go in that direction. So either way, it was valuable, but definitely very valuable given what he was able to do. And then we have something like this, where you see where he is on the screen here. This is another interesting play, I think. So watch what happens. Right off the bat, he goes more towards the inside. This appeared to be a designed stunt where he's supposed to go over the middle. Hopefully, he can get a straight shot to the quarterback. The issue is George is playing this pretty well. They've swapped off, so now the tackle is blocking the interior defensive lineman. And to me, this might be the most exciting thing you'll see that I show you here if you're a Vikings fan, because he reads this. So watch him then go around the tackle who is then occupied, and he gets the sack right there. Being able to read these plays is very important as well, because again, for the Vikings who love to mix things up and have players do different things, you're going to sometimes be in unique situations that you're not used to being in, and having a player be able to make the most out of something like that is, I think, really important and really impactful, and that's definitely what Turner can do. But again, there's also just the straight up speed rush stuff, something like this, where it's actually going to be 3 players who are eventually going to be kind of blocking him here. Watch how he's going to run by the couple that were on the edge, but now there is the halfback who is running a play action, but now he's in position to block Turner. So what's Turner going to do to counter this? Well, he's just going to try and run around him as well. Okay, good job, you've gotten around everybody, but now look at how far away you are from everybody as well. Well, this isn't really a big deal either. As you see, he is able to get over. He is going to make the sack as well, because again, he is so explosive and can move so well. So definitely the athleticism really pairs well with what Minnesota is going to be trying to do. Now, obviously, the Vikings aren't blitzing every play. That's not how this works. They're not going to be constantly going out there trying to make stuff happen that way. So I'm not trying to sit here and say that's all he needs to do or anything like that. But I think we've talked plenty about how he can do in one-on-one matchups and in your typical situations. I mean, when I did my evaluation of him, my initial film study, that's very much what I was talking about, was just him as an edge rusher. I think that's what most people have talked about, but that's kind of why I like making some of these film studies after the fact, because we can kind of talk about scheme fit, which is always a very important aspect of this as well. So I do think that he fits the scheme well. I do think he can be a really impactful player for them, and if they want to just try and get pressure before, I think he can help them out with that as well. It's certainly not just that. But, I sometimes think like, oh, well, you have a defensive coordinator who likes to blitz, so do you even need pass rushers? Well, yeah, they still do matter a decent amount. And, look at the season Danielle Hunter just had, and I think Danielle Hunter is a good player. I think you saw maybe the sacks and the pressures be a little higher than you would have maybe thought, when you watched the film, in part because he was in a good situation. And that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. Being in a good situation and being able to take advantage of it is something that is definitely a strength that I do think Dallas Turner can possess and can bring to Minnesota. So, yeah. Again, when I did my players most likely to win defensive rookie of the year, Dallas Turner was number 1 on that list. And the reasoning is because I think he's a really good player. And I think he's in a situation that'll help him. And on top of it, I think he's someone that a lot of people like and are going to be more willing to, usually someone drafted in the first round is more likely to win the award than someone who's drafted in the 7th round, even if they play just as well. So a lot of things working in his favor there, but 2 of them are good situation, good scheme fit, and good player. So yeah, those are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching to the end of the video. I do appreciate that. If you want to see more of my content, I have a movie channel. You can check that out. Link is in the description below. A lot of fun stuff on there. I have a good time with it. And there's, of course, plenty more content on this channel. I upload 3 videos a day. So, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, all that good stuff. But yeah, thanks.